Well, welcome to another episode of Let the Truth Be Told. My name is Sean Williams, and I'm back in the studio once again with my good friend, Brother Hub.
Yes, sir.
We in the studio once again. I know I caught you off guard.
Yes, sir.
Kind of hit you off the hip.
Yes, sir.
You know, thank the Lord for Ian.
Right.
And
Ian?
Ethan.
You
guys are fun.
Ethan.
Keep the cameras rolling.
And Jason in the studio over here at UPTV, man. Let the truth be told.
Yeah.
You know, man, I thank the Lord.
Hold on. You caught me off guard. He called me. He dressed like $1 million, and I'm looking like the throwback coach from Illinois, Hubby Smith.
Or the water boy.
Right.
That's all right. That's
ILL.
You know, it's all good, man. You know, I thank the Lord for just being able to have an opportunity to be in front of the cameras once again, man. You know, so much has went on throughout our community, in personal lives, you know.
Sir.
From the last time we taped our last television program, and so we're gonna get into our dialogue, and we're gonna name our topic and everything. But I just wanted to do some house cleaning before we get started. You know, big shouts to all the families that I've served over these last 3, 4, 5 weeks. Big shouts out to my mother for Mother's Day, your mother for Mother's Day. You did an event for your dad.
Yes, sir.
Since the last time we had
80th birthday.
So I want you to kind of elaborate a little bit on your dad, your mom. Big shouts out to my mama, all the other mothers that's connected within my family, my sisters, my aunts, and everybody that, you know, was able to share and spend some time with their family for Mother's Day. Very important to spend time. You know, give your people their flowers while they living. You know, and that's so essential. I see it all the time from different areas where you can't wake nobody up and say, hey man, I love you. So tell them people you love them while they're yet still living. Give them flowers, give them gift cards right now. You know, maybe slide a little something, change in the hand. Right. You know, my mom wants some change in the hand. You know, a car that's empty. She don't too much get too excited about a car. With
open and close quick.
And that go over to the dust counter. Right. And so Brother Hub, tell us a little bit about your dad, man, and before you go into about your mom,
we had an 80th birthday party for him in Round Barn. Shout out to Round Barn, and Mr. Phil Katsina's done an excellent job over there. It was actually 2 weekends ago, and his 80th birthday, and they came from Texas, Atlanta, Arizona, just all over the country. I think it was about 10 or 15 states represented there. Then shout out to the pastors, local pastors who came to support, and other pastors who came from out of town, Indianapolis, everywhere. And it was just a really, really great time. I mean, he's 80 years old, so we couldn't have that at the normal place like Ryan's or Civic Center. We had to do something special. Something real special. And I told him his 90th birthday might be at the Assembly Hall, just depending on if I had those 5,000 members yet or not. If I had 5,000 members, we're going to have it at Assembly Hall. And so he was really appreciative. Shout out to Janet and Judy, and also Minister Eldridge Carr and Eldridge Roundtree, and my wife, Stephanie, who
part of the planning.
They made it happen.
Part of the planning.
I was the mouth of the South, but I mean, they made it happen. And it was done with a spirit of excellence. And so really, really good. It was really, really good. And he's still talking about it. It's been almost 2 weeks, and he's still talking about it.
We unrolled a program starting the first of the year with the funeral home business. It's called a living celebration of life service. And so that's what you're talking about. A living celebration. You don't have to wait till you pass away. Let you see all your friends and your loved ones while you're living. Get all those gifts, get all those, things that you need. It's called living celebration of life service.
That's so powerful.
We're playing that.
Shout out to the Browns, Tony Brown and all the Browns. They have started doing something similar to that in Douglas Park. And all the family, I mean, and they invited just not family, he invited me, I had to go out of town, but just so everybody can love on each other. And I think they're going to do that once a month. And so shout out to the Browns who are exuding what family is all about. And we need to do that more.
Good family example.
Yes, because they dying, as you know. I mean, that's a business you're in. They're dying. So you here today, gone today.
Man, we've been seeing it here recently. We probably had within the last 3 weeks, we've had like 18 to 20 people that everybody kind of connected with, and some of everybody might know pass away.
Yeah.
And it's not just a certain age group. You know, back when we was growing up, you know, if you passed away, you kind of older or you were sickly if you were younger. But it's different dynamics, different health issues going on, different scenarios going on that's taking people up out of here. And so you know, and that's what we've been seeing, and that's what we've been dealing with as a community.
Mr. Sykes, I was his paper boy back in the 70s. And he was always an entrepreneur. And I had, right next to him was Mr. Killian. So, you know, right around the corner was Mr. Willis. And so you have all these entrepreneurs in your community. Man, you know, it motivated me as a paper boy. You know, and so it's important even today for us to push the youth into entrepreneurship so they can have ownership of their own. Because we had a lot, just in Ellis Drive, we had a lot of entrepreneurship.
You know, just recently, it was public knowledge in the paper, but with Mr. Purtle being want to sell the radio station. And me and Mr. Purtle, you know, over the last maybe 25, almost 30 years, we built a really tight bond. You know, I just left him just a minute ago, not too long ago, you know, just to conversate back and forth with him. But, you know, he called me over to the house, you know, he asked me my opinion. And, you know, he like a dad, I'm like a son to him. And he's a pretty stern kind of guy. You know, not really get emotional. You won't see him get too emotional about things, but he's built up so much personal value and sentimental value built up into that radio station. All of his friends that went into that business with him have all gone on. And they all brought something to the table, you know, to make it WBCP. And so he kind of got, you know, choked up expressing it to me. He won't talk to too many people about his business. You know, and so he wanted my personal opinion. He really wanted me to help out, but I'm spread is so thin that if you can't be effective, you know, in areas, there's no sense of jumping into it. And so want to provide that opportunity for somebody else if somebody else will come along. And so, but what my main thing is that as these older guys that's in business, as they go on and they transition and they pass away or maybe just go in retirement, there's no one stepping in the gap. So we end up losing First Street. We end up losing, you know, other smaller business or businesses that we're used to in the community. You know, and so as these younger people, you know, we're trying to create vision, we're trying to create hope, you know, and create some self-esteem for them to be able to go in and transition. And a lot of these people, you know, these guys, they have children with no desire to want to take over the reins of the business.
What I used to tell my soldiers, and I still I tell my students now, there's no success without a successor.
Yes, sir.
You know, and so in order for you to continue to be successful, you got to train some. You got to have a Timothy. You know, Paul had Timothy, took him everywhere he go. And, you know, that being a sentimental value to Mr. Purtle, he's got to strategically sell that. I mean, if he really wants it to carry on and his legacy to carry on, he just can't sell that to anybody.
That's right. And he understands.
Yeah, because I mean, that's a lot of legacy.
He understands legacy is very important. I've been drilling it into him. Legacy is very important. You know, he's been on that corner, on the corner of 4th and Tremont since the 1950s. You know,
and see, you would be a good businessman, but that's not your passion. So whoever buys that, they need to have some passion or have somebody around it to have some passion, because you could take it to another level.
Definitely include some people on your board of directors that can have some skin in the game.
Yes, sir.
And that has some very vital information to bring to the table to keep that legacy and keep those traditions going.
Yes, sir.
You know, and so those are some of the vital things. You know, Hub, I've been so busy when it ain't funerals or not insurance related or pre-planning and some other things like that with some families. You know, I've been working with the youth. I'm back and working with the youth over at Centennial, most at-risk young men over at Central. And so we've been building some groups.
Can we pause for a minute? Because you went over the funerals and everything, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, when is he going to talk about the funeral? The funeral of the year for Williams Memorial happened last week to one of the most awesome, talking about legacy here.
Yeah.
One of the most awesome women to ever walk the streets of Champaign-Urbana, Miss Walker.
Yeah, Miss Pauline.
Miss Pauline Walker. And when I tell you, the old folks say, son, you outdid yourself. What an awesome funeral. And I'm sure these other funeral homes realize we got to step our game up. Because you brung something to Champaign that the people here probably never seen in their life. I mean, it was really done. One of the things I learned from my church in Texas, Destiny Family Christian Center, a.k.a. Christ Cathedral, everything First Lady and Pastor did, they did with a spirit of excellence.
Yeah.
And so I always have my eye locked into the spirit of excellence.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can't describe it or I can't really explain it, but I know it when I see it or I hear it.
Yeah.
And that funeral was a spirit of excellence.
Man.
The horse, the white horse, the in cage, and who were there? I mean, this woman had influence, and you could tell by the age gap of the people who were at the funeral.
Yeah.
Just talk a little bit.
Both young and old attended that funeral. People that's in church and people that wasn't in church. Because of their impact within the community, their children's relationships with other children throughout the community, their grandchildren's relationships and great grandchildren's relationships with people that's connected in the community, and them just having a spirit of just being good people.
Good people.
Just good people, man. And so folks came out just to support the family during their time of bereavement. And so definitely planning that service and sitting around a round table with their daughters, Miss Arthelia and Diane and Miss Dorothy and all the rest of the family, and Danny and and Jerry and all those guys. And I knew Mr. Walker really good.
Right,
He was living, the late Deacon Asa Walker, his
a man of many hats.
Yeah, his entrepreneurship spirit. And as an older guy, I looked up to him because as I left my house to go to the barbershop early in the morning, I could see his red truck. I can see it right now rolling down Kirby Street. And he on his way, for one of his many endeavors, but it was lawn care. And he had those lawnmowers on there early in the morning at 7 o'clock, gassed up, ready to roll and hit it. And so that built up a level of confidence into me and encouraged me as a young entrepreneur to keep on rolling. And so and he used to get his hair cut from me, and Miss Walker used to bring him down there and trust me with Mr. Walker as he got older. And then I would walk him in and walk him out. And so, we built up a really great relationship, and I did his funeral, and they said that was great. But I really wanted Mrs. Walker, and as I learned more in business, I learned more. Nobody really. I'm not a second generational funeral home, so nobody really paved the way for me or showed me the ropes. I kind of, it was trial and error with some things, but I let God use me. I found my purpose, kept my humbleness and my bedside manner, and then an ear to hear what the people saying. An ear to hear what the people saying.
You said a word, purpose. And purpose, in my mind, segues us into our topic.
Okay.
Because me and you talk all the time. And I think the more we talk, the closer we get, the more we trust.
Yeah.
And so you were a major reason for me moving back here, major. Every time I came home to visit, you said you can help the kids here just like you're helping them in El Paso. And so when you talk about purpose, what we discovered being in business, and me being back almost 10 years, and you being back almost 20?
I've been back about 25, 30 years.
Almost 30 years. One of the things that we talked about here in the last 2 weeks, and we said we were going to do a show on it, is people who don't know you when you walk in your purpose, because society has a certain way they expect you to act.
The norm.
Don't do this, you can't do this. Cookie cutter. Don't get out the box. A straight paradigm. We don't want no paradigm shifts, none of that. Do as you told. Shut up. And so one of the things as business owners, and I can't have this conversation with everybody because everybody don't understand what it is to have your own. And that's fair. You know what I'm saying? That's not a bad thing, but I'm just saying everybody don't understand the conversation. So some people who don't know me will approach me with an attitude of, who are you?
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, who are you? And then people that know you and were raised up with you, they got a set way that they remember you. So they approach you, who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are? To do something that we're not, we've been here for 40 years and it's been like this. We've been here for 50 years. Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are? So the ones who don't know you, they look at you and say, who are you? Ask us, what do you think you're doing? And the ones who know you, have history with you, who do you think you are? Trying to have own a funeral home, insurance, old school Benz, one of the best homes on the west side of town. Who do you think you are? Don't you know you Sean Williams? Don't you know Jimmy Pettigrew said they could tell when you home over off Bradley Street because they can look at your window and see your feet hanging out your house of smoke? Who do you think you are? What do you think you're doing?
Yeah, you know what, Brother Hub, you know, I treat it all as a blessing, you know, and then all of it's been a learning experience, and it just come with the territory, just everyday way of life now.
Yeah.
You know, spray your hater guard on in the morning time. You know, before I walk out the door, you know, ask the Lord to protect me. You know what I'm saying? Because not everybody gonna like you. And I don't do it for the likes.
Right.
You know,
right,
I'm
right.
not even doing this program right here for as many likes. If you pick up a nugget, you pick up a nugget. You know, but going back to you know, who are you and who do you think you are? You know, as I got into this business, you know, and I seen it because I used to do all the haircuts for the funeral homes. And so Mr. Henry, he told me early on, hey, some of your people going to pass away. They're going to want you to do their funerals. I didn't want to do it. I didn't even want to go to cosmetology school because they said that was for guys that were, you know, were
on the other side of the
street. You know, you got to watch what words you say. So the other side of the street. And so so I didn't even want to do that, but I did. Lord pushed me into it. Carlos Harvey, he helped push me and push me into it. And I did that, and I learned those skills, and I paid good attention. And so when I added this into, when I got the funeral home, you know, it wasn't about, I wasn't doing normal funerals. It's about ripping your life up, and it's about homegoing celebrations and then celebration of life. We converted it into celebration of life, and those were the terms that we use when we come to the table. And so when I look at these celebration of life services that we do, and then the magnitude that we did it for, whether Coach McClain, you know, 2,500 people at the Floyd Event Center with his magnificent family, or we look at a magnificent family like Miss Walker, and just being able to, because first of all, your life got to represent that. That's first of all, being a good person.
You always say, how can you rest in peace if you didn't live in peace?
You know, and so that's the first thing. That's called insurance.
Yes.
You know, that ensure that people gonna come and they gonna celebrate. And they loved your legacy. They love what you created in your dash.
That's good.
They love what you did, and they gonna show up that day. I don't care if they're in Mississippi, they're in Texas, they're in California. They'll pause their day because it's your day, and not just look past it as if something just didn't happen and keep on going about business as usual. So I knew I had to do something at another level for this special family, and so I tried to do some creative stuff. Listen to what they were saying, but also do some creative stuff, and also understand that they going through the grieving process, and then being to document all this stuff. Man, I had such a good time on yesterday, man, because I had an older lady that called me, and she called me while I was preparing for Mrs. Walker's funeral. And she done called me about 2 or 3 times, and she said, look, I want to go ahead and I need to get my stuff together because I'm already 90 years old. So I had already talked to her niece, and we know her niece married to a guy we know, and so I called them, and she said, well, I don't need all them to be there. I need you to be there so I can make sure that I tell you and document everything. Sat and listened to it, man, and man, she got a great story to tell. And so I was able to listen to her and just write down everything that she said, everything that she talked about, her church and her dedication to her church and what she's transitioned to do. And she used to be in the military like us. She was in the Army.
I hear, as I listen to you talk, I hear ministry. I hear ministry, and I hear that we not just gonna get the body, get the guy, or get the lady and put them away.
No, we ain't
we gonna
nobody.
minister.
We ain't dumping
we
nobody.
gonna our our whole operation is ministry.
No,
the whole operation is ministry.
We healing through this process.
Yes, sir.
You know, we gonna kick off. We gonna kick off the first steps toward healing this family, because it's an emotional, tremendous burden on a family during this emotional time of loss of a loved one. I don't care how old they are. If they your loved one, you're gonna miss them, man. And so I want to be able to play a role into that where we can knock out 3-4 birds with one stone. I've always told you, when I have one of these young people that pass away through one of these murders or something like that, I'm going to get Jordan, because Jordan can relate. I ain't finna go get
He's
somebody.
moving back here too.
I ain't finna go get somebody finna put the church to sleep.
Right.
Because it's a church full of young folk that don't got church etiquette.
That's right.
A lot.
That's
and
right.
so I need some folks that's gonna be patient with the young folks. I was just listening to, and I see my nephew Marlon on there. His sister Keisha just came out she got a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And she was just talking about her experience, and she used to tell her mom, you know, when her mom was staying here, that she would go to church, and then the granddaughter said, "Mom, we didn't go to church," and she said, "Hush," you know, trying to tell her daughter, you know, don't tell my mama that. And so mom then moved back down there, and so now finally they're forced to go to church, and so they haven't been to church in a few years, and so my niece wanna, you know, she's not used to all this here, the way we run church nowadays, you know, the church etiquette that we got going on. Oh, he reading the scripture, you can't move around, this, that, and other. Well, her daughter got to use the bathroom. So my niece got up to go take her daughter to the bathroom, and the usher put her hand in her face. Oh, whoa, what you put your hand in my face for? You know, she said, well, you can't move right now. Well, my daughter got to use the bathroom. And then, you know, the lady kind of got mouthy with her, and that made her go into mode, you know, instead of having patience because not understanding that not everybody been to church for 30, 40, 50 years. And so you got to have some patience with them, let them know, because a lot of these rules that we might have going on, you know, even Jesus might say, man, what they got going on?
Right. Moses took them all the way there, but he didn't get to step foot in it. He got to see it, the promised land, but he didn't get to step foot in it because he got mouthy. He got angry, and God told him to speak to the rock, and he smoked the rock. And so he mistreated, he did all that work, but in the end, the usher, you can't mistreat God's people.
Because
but here's the thing, and this is why your funeral home, and we're gonna move on, but the reason your funeral home is going to exceed your expectations, see, in church, in some churches, we done got it down to where come in, sit down, shut up, get up, pay up, sit down, and get out. Boom, 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 out of here. I preached a message one time at Checkmark Church. This Holy Spirit ain't regulating no more. Boom, 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 boom. We got to be out here in an hour, 15 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. And so relating that with your funeral home, that's the way that a lot of the funerals are. And so by you letting God use you and you having the spirit of humbleness and really, really what I call genuine concern, people going to take note of that.
You know, I even had one of the brothers from one of the other homes, you know, and me and him conglab real good, you know, and so he no minister, none of that, but he helped out one of the other homes. He told me, he said, Sean, service is your best commodity, bro. He said, I don't care how how beautiful the building is, I don't care how many cars they got. If your service ain't no good, your bedside manner, your concern, your patience, it don't make a difference, man.
You know, they used to give you napkins at McDonald's. Now they won't. Or I was in Rantoul at County Market, and I'm getting juices and stuff for the kid, and the guy wasn't gonna give me no bag. They used to be trained, but now they train not to give you a bag unless you ask to keep the cost cut down. It's done flipped. And so by you staying true to who you are and the ministry is God given you in that area, it's only a matter of time, because everybody is cutting customer service.
You know, I always been trained, and I grew up with older folk. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with older folk, and I grew up with, you know, my brother Joe. And be the best at whatever you're gonna do or don't do it. If you ain't finna be the best, you know, I mean, even in sports, we wanted to be the best back in the day, and a lot of the guys grew up with that. We out at Douglas Center shooting ball, even though you came with the this and the that and the magic moves, you was the best at that. You was the best at that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
the
sir.
don't look past,
Yes, sir.
You was the best at that. Crossover before they came over with a crossover.
Right.
It was a show.
Right.
It was the showmanship.
Right.
You know, you gotta come to the table with some showmanship.
Yeah.
You know, bring something to the table with some showmanship to be able to let folks know, man, this guy really cared about what he do. He just ain't doing it just to be going through the motions, I would say.
Check mark.
Just going through the motions. You know, even with the young folks, dealing with these young folks, man, you know, as we've been talking to them guys, you know, and asking them what they want to be and stuff, and really making them, you know, sound off when you say you want to be a dental hygienist or you want to be a fashion designer. Sound off with it so that you believe what you're saying. Once you start believing what you're saying, see, a lot of times when we sit up there and we have we put so much burden on God. We put so much on Him. Pray about it. We praying about it. We sitting around there praying about it. We keep on praying. We telling folks about it. But we ain't put one step forward first. We don't even believe what we praying about. We
asking amiss.
We asking somebody else. Well, can you pray for me? Pray for me. Well, you got to believe it yourself, and that's what the faith is always about. So you know, that faith walk is coming from your forward movements. You moving. You ain't standing still.
Right.
You know
I'm changing subjects because you don't put this on my mind talking about the youth. So tomorrow I'll find out definitely the location.
Okay.
But LDA is going to take another step. Last year we met in Monocles.
Okay.
And we just had different guest speakers come in. We showed the educator James Hobson, you know, some of his little snippets. We showed some of those from Facebook. And so this summer, we're going to hire a Spanish teacher, a math teacher, and an English teacher, all certified, who the English teacher is going, her class that she's going to teach is college preparedness, being prepared for college, taking the middle school and a few high school, and really developing a path for them to paint a picture in their mind that they can go to college. And so I'm really, really excited. You know, military, structure, discipline, LDA, leadership, all that's great. But we want to give it some more infrastructure from the education piece. We got some kids that's not doing so good in math, so we gonna do some math. We got some kids that's not doing so good in English, or they don't have a vision that they can go to college, so we're gonna do that. And the middle school don't offer any Spanish, so we gonna give some 6th, 7th, 8th, and probably some 9th graders. We're gonna teach them a little Spanish, so when they go into high school, they'll be ahead of the game.
You know, one of the things, going back to our topic, who are you and who do you think you are? You know, one of the things about it, Brother Hub, is that one of the things about that is that people gotta touch it, see it, feel it.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I'm saying? And
Yes,
so one of the things that allow us to touch it, see it, feel it is that, like my niece Denisha, we're in the graduation season, and so my niece Denisha just got her master's degree.
Okay.
So the rest of my family can touch it, see it, feel it.
Right.
They can touch it. They can actually touch it, see it, feel it, because Denisha done it. So if Denisha's done it, then I can do it. And that's what what they feel. Denisha done it.
Denisha done it.
You know, Denisha comes to visit me. I can conversate with Denisha. And that's the whole thing of creating hope with the people that's within our within our community. You know, they got to see people.
Right.
They got to see. They got to be able to touch. You can't be so far away and so out of touch that young folks can't touch you. You know, so many times we get into these places within our own mind.
In our own mind.
You know, Too Short said you're pimping your own mind.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
You know, so you're a pimp in your own mind, but to the rest of everybody else, you ain't on nothing. You ain't on the cruise. You know, and so many of us, in our own mind, we own something.
A legend in your own mind.
You know, yeah, you're a legend. You know, but in your own mind, you thinking that you own something, but people want to be able to talk to you.
Right.
You can't be so such and much that I can't talk to you.
Right.
Or I can't see you.
Right.
You know, and that's why I always say, keep your hood pass.
Right. Right.
Because if you're definitely working with people throughout the community, you got to be relatable to the community.
Right.
Or otherwise, you're just like some of the other people
right.
that just put blanket policies and procedures on
right.
these folks
right.
that have nothing to do with these folks.
Right.
And they just and now they under siege
right.
under this decision that
right.
you done made that they had nothing to do with.
You know, I always say this. A lot of people are like that because America is like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
America is the only country that play the World Series by themselves.
Mm.
You know, we got the Cubs against
the greatest.
Yeah, we got the Cubs against
the LA Dodgers.
The LA. They in the same, so it can't be the Dodgers. Okay. The other LA team, Angels.
Okay.
We got the World Series against Chicago and LA. Well, what about Japan? Why they ain't in the World Series? What about Zimbabwe? Yeah. How we say the Golden State Warriors is the world champs and Germany ain't in it, you know? Mm-hmm. But we legends in our own mind. Mm-hmm. And so that rubs off on people. People think that if it ain't about them, it ain't nothing.
See, and what that does is that breaks us down to that breaks us down to our own selfishness.
Yes.
You know, it's all about me.
Yes, sir.
You know, and that's where it even breaks down to the reason why we like to receive, we never like to give.
That's right.
Because if it ain't nothing in it for me, then who are you?
Right.
And who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are? Coach Verdell Jones, after the Christmas break, we came back from Christmas, and we had the whole varsity team. And he said, how was your Christmas? Oh, good. And so he said, what did you give? He said, you mean what we get? No, what did you give? And they whole face just dropped, you know, so because we so used to Christmas being about getting. No, what did you give?
What did you bring to the table?
What did you bring to the table?
What did you give?
What did you give? And so thank you.
Yeah, what did you give? And that's the way blessings happen. Mm-hmm. You know, blessings happen because of the fact that you paused your busy schedule.
Right.
To do something maybe great or might be minute to somebody. Somebody else. But it might be major to the person that you hit.
Right.
You know, if you keep telling me you hungry and I keep telling you I got sandwiches, but I never give you one, then what benefit am I?
Right.
I'm not a benefit at all. You know, I'm riding around the Benz, but you asked me for a ride because you never rode in one. I remember when I first got, my first got, and it was a blessing for me. I mean, it was a blessing for me, you know, because, big shots to U of I Credit Union because they did something really unique for me, you know. I got my blessing, you know. And so when I went over to one of my buddy's houses, you know, his brother, that had been struggling, you know what I'm saying? He said, man, when you gonna let me drive? I said, today. And I let him drive. He went to the store. I mean, he had a Kool-Aid smile on his face, man. And his other brothers, man, you gonna let him drive your car?
It's a car.
It's a car, man. It's a car. I put gas in it just like I did with that 72 Malibu I had when I got it in high school. I put unleaded gas in that, and I put unleaded gas in that.
That's right.
And it's a blessing from God.
That's right.
God don't bless you with stuff for yourself. He bless you with stuff to share with others.
We're blessed to be a blessing.
You got to be He don't. So when I see all these nice old pictures with people and they doing stuff for themselves and you know they don't bless anybody else with it, and they might shoot pictures and say, "Man, look at my meal." Because Facebook full of that. Look at my meal. Look at my crib. Look at my car. Look at we on a trip. Well, I'm like Verdell with the kids.
Right.
Did you take anybody else with you?
Right.
Did you help anybody else? Did you leave some behind? Maybe even take a picture to share with somebody. Hey, so they can see the picture that you took and you share with them and say, man, you know, I come from this here stock right here, and if I can do it, you can do it.
You know, I put, and this is a commercial, but you talking about Facebook. Almost every day, God give me something to put on Facebook. And I don't get excited. When I really know it's something that's really anointed, I have shares. Likes, comments, that's all good. I'm not taking nothing away from that. But shares, because we want to be able to share. And so when God gives me a word and people receive the word and share it, that's when I get excited.
Yeah.
I like share.
Yeah, because they
likes, love, share.
They want to pass it on to their friends, their family, you know, something that was meaningful, you know, and so those are the things, you know, when we're trying to get some other people to embrace, you know, to embrace what we got going on, you know, or what we're talking about, or the topic or anything like that, man. You know, share that stuff, man. Pass that word. The word one given to me, you know, or this program. I shared it with this platform with you,
yes, sir,
because it's some type of chemistry that we have,
synergy,
when we come to the table.
The Asians call it feng shui. You know, they can go in their house and they can feel that a glass has been moved. Because everything is boom, 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 and that's what my wife said about we bounce off each other.
Yeah,
real
that alignment.
good.
I mean, that uniformity that we have. You know what I'm saying? Because we can understand some of the same language, and so many times when we get frustrated with these people that come up and say, "Who are you?" and "Who do you think you are?" You know, we get frustrated because we come from some of the same stock. We've been taught some of the same things.
When you always tell me this, relationships, and so I'm segregating into this University of Florida. Did you see that when they were graduating and they was? Oh,
they doing.
And then he was grabbing them and pushing them off stage. See, he has no relationship. He has no relationship with those kids, so he can't understand.
He can't understand them. He can't understand.
He don't understand that, man, they come from a one-bedroom house with 5 kids. They the first one in their family to go. No relationship, Ethan. No relationship at all with them. You gonna work today? Yeah, you gonna work today. Everybody want to text. But no relationship. And the apology, you know, it's good to apologize because but
come on,
how can you be at that level and not understand, you know, the kids that are coming through there?
And he probably sitting on some board of directors creating policies and processes that these children have to go through and don't even understand the demographics and the people that he's serving.
I used to get mad, and I shared this with 2 of my favorite teachers at J.W. Ader. One of my kids' mom died. And so, man, I went to the funeral. And one of the whole sides of the funeral was ran to administration, the high school and some middle school, but he's in high school now. And so going back to the college thing, I used to get mad. Even in Texas, I got mad. I thought teachers were racist. You know, they treat them. But I found out 3 things. You do have some that just don't want to be bothered. That's about 20%. Then you have another 60% that just don't relate. They're not racist, they just don't know. They just can't get with how these kids were brought up. And then you have a 20% that can relate. And usually those are the teachers that students confide in.
And they don't mind. They don't mind one of these diversity training programs. They don't mind attending that. Some people feel like that's a burden. Why do I need that? You know, I'm not racial, and I think we all might say we're not racial to a certain point, but it's some things in the Caucasian community that happen that I don't understand at all, and I'm quite in some things that's going on in the Arab community that I wouldn't totally connect with, or the Latino community that I wouldn't connect with. You know, and from us traveling overseas, we knew some universal things.
That's right.
Thumbs up.
That's right.
A smile.
That's right.
You know, some tears. You know, we know that's universal.
Right.
You know? A storm is universal. So we understood those things, you know. But when you go down and you see like these young men that were, you know, popping, locking across the stage, you know, it brought me back to Inky Johnson's testimony. You know, Inky Johnson, he used to play football for Tennessee, University of Tennessee, and when he had his mishap when he got paralyzed on one side, and he told his story, and nobody could understand. He said when he went to the University of Tennessee for recruitment, and they ended up putting him inside, you know, maybe the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, you know, the best of the best, and he was up there, and they asked him and said, "Hey man, you want? It's a party going on over here. Is this going on over there?" He's like, "Take me back to my room." He said, and he just sat there for a while, and the guy that was his liaison said, "What's wrong with you?" And he said he didn't say anything, but he said one thing that the guy never understood. This was his first time sleeping in the bed by himself. He said he was used to 4, 5, 6 people in the same bed.
In the same bed.
15 people in a 2-bedroom down there in Atlanta. So, you know, you have no idea the background that these people them grew up in, the amount of hope and the amount of people that poured into them that did say, you can do it, you can do it. You know? I mean, and the people that said, you ain't gonna do it.
Gonna do it. You know,
the environment that said you wasn't gonna do it. The teacher at the school and the security guard that told Inky Johnson, you know, what you gonna be, little man? And he said, man, I'm playing football. I'm going D1. He said, no, cell block D1. So you got people people that's snatching the rug from under you in the beginning of your journey.
That's why I'm a huge LeBron James fan, because you take an 18-year-old, you give him millions. Single parent, didn't know his daddy. Right? He got the same girl he had in high school, right? Kids, he ain't got no gambling stuff to get his daddy killed. That's allegedly. You know, he ain't get caught like Kobe with another woman and then snitched on Shaq. He ain't done none of that. And most important, Sean, he brung his guys along with him. How can you hate on that? Anybody that really hates on that, they hate themselves.
Well, see, and those guys that do be hating on them, they haters anyway.
Yeah, they haters.
They haters
they
in
just
the community.
Hate it. That,
they haters in the community. You know, because anytime somebody jump outside the box or go against the grain, who are you? And who do you think you are? You know, well, I mean, look, bro. Just because you decided this is what you want to do, be comfortable with your decision. But don't knock folks that's trying to go against the grain and change things, because life is about change, man. We shouldn't be in the same place we were 25 years ago, man.
When I was in the Army, and after I recruited, I kind of knew how recruiting worked. So when the guys and girls come in and show attitude about their job, I said, look, you went to MEPS just like everybody else. Don't be hating on their job. You walk like a duck. You bend down, let the doctor do woo, woo, woo. You picked this job.
That's right.
So don't be hating on them because they picked a different job.
Man, admin. You over there running tanks. And you mad because you over there tank battalion and they in administration. Come on, man. Be the best tanker. Be the best admin. Be a good dude.
Who are you?
I was just working with doing something with a funeral, and the guy talking about so I'm writing the stuff down, you know, minister so and so, you know, and that's Reverend, man, because I'm ordained. And I'm like, well, bro, I really didn't know the difference, you know. But you know, you putting all these titles on everything. What about being a good dude? You know, you got all 4 or 5. You're challenged, and you challenge yourself to get these titles, but you're not challenging yourself to be the good dude.
But it's amazing what you can learn when you listen. People will tell you immediately. I tell my 12-year-old daughter, listen to people. Whatever come out their mouth gonna be positive or negative.
They'll tell you.
They gonna tell you. They gonna tell you.
A joke.
They gonna tell you.
Whether it's through a joke, and most of them will come up to you trying to slick talk. With a joke.
Them titles. See, the devil don't care nothing about you being no bishop. He just don't want you to do what the bishop's supposed to do. You can have the title. You know, just don't do the work.
No, you better not help nobody.
You can have the title. You can have all those titles.
You better not start building
just
up
don't
a
do the
community.
work. You can pass to the church. You can pass to the church. Just don't change the community.
Don't learn about this healing. Don't learn about this healing. Don't learn about this hope. You know, don't create that vision.
I remember when Meeks came here for Keywan's funeral, and I said, Sean, you got to hear Meeks. He gonna be tough. Woo woo this. And so he came, and he was just normal. He didn't say nothing slick. He didn't hoop holler. He didn't do none of that. And you said, Hub, man, I thought you said Meeks was one of the top ones in Chicago. I say, he is, Sean. It ain't what he's saying in the pulpit. It's what he's doing in the community. You know, he dried up all them liquor stores, dried them all up. Y'all ain't finna seal no liquor around here. Especially near no church. How can you do all this evil with the church right there?
Oh man, I watched Bishop Brazier do that up there. You know, change that community around. Got pictures of his storefront.
Yeah.
You know, where you can start at a place, and then he went to his other church until he got his bigger ministry going on with the bookstore and everything.
Yes, sir.
You know, those guys, I love those type of that spirit of those guys. You know, Pastor Tatum, I love that spirit of those guys, man. I mean, you know, I don't care what you get. You know, you done changed some lives, man. And that's all we here for.
And you got to
impact lives.
This is for you, and you. If God give you the vision, He's gonna give you provision.
Yeah.
Right? God ain't gonna go to Popeyes and order $100 worth of chicken and not pay for it. So you have to be careful that you ain't lying on God and saying that it's God's vision. Because if it's God's vision, you ain't got to stay up all night. He's going to give you provision to provide for His vision. And so some of us have a vision in our mind of what God has told us, but a lot of people around you might say, oh, no, or they might not see the vision. And you might take that personal. But it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It just means that God gave you the vision and not them. And so they might not be able to see the vision that God has given you. But don't take that as I learned that this week. Don't take that as a negative. Just continue to do what God has told you to do. And after a while, or as my grandmama say, by and by, they'll understand it.
You know, Brother Hub, you know, a lot of times what happens is that when folks start looking at you and they start looking at your successes, they start thinking about their failures.
Right. That's powerful.
So when they look at you and you start telling all of them how God done did this and God done did that, and then they think they been half faithful, you know, but I ain't got nowhere. Well, you might not putting the same amount of work in. You might not have the same relationships. You might be a hater. You know what I'm saying? And that might be one of the reasons that's stopping you from growing right there. Because who are you? And who do you think you are? Because you think all the blessings should be for yourself.
Who are you?
Your motives might not be pure.
Where did you come from?
So how is somebody going to tap into that? You might be negative. You might spit venomous stuff out all the time. You know? I mean, and so I don't get mad at what the next man might have. You know, actually it's motivation. One of the guys from our insurance group, he was on Facebook yesterday, and he put a picture of his 2018 new Bentley. He can't even say the name, but he put a picture of it. And I put pure motivation. Congrats, my brother. And so because he doing some great things, and he doing something for people that might have not had an opportunity. The guys that had felonies, and he said, well, don't worry about that. We're going to clean your felony up. He in another state. He cleaning guys up. He taking them off the street. If you can do this, you can do that.
That's right.
So I'm going to show you how to do it. He got a team of people that's working with these people, training them.
That's right.
He retraining them.
That's right.
He got ethics training going on. He using his platform as being a manager, a regional manager for an insurance company as his podium for ministry.
That's powerful.
And he changing the lives of people.
Changing the lives.
You know what I'm saying? So no matter what you doing, what position you in, if you ain't impacting lives, then you in the way. You talking loud, ain't saying nothing. You know
my daddy said like this: you can't have a praying knee and a dancing foot on the same leg.
You know,
people are throwing a rock and hiding their head.
And then they run around here because somebody else, you know, and I see a lot of folks, you know, maybe that's been around for a long time, you know, mad because somebody else then came here, been here 2, 3, 4 years, or, you know, and doing something a little bit better, you know. But that first of all, time is very important. You might have been in the same place for 10 years. You might have held on to that same bad relationship for the last 10, 15 years. You might have been second guessing yourself. Double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So you might have been double-minded for the last 15 years. Oh, I should do that. You cold and hot. You cold and hot. One day you hot. Next 5 days you cold. Because you're around negative folk.
One of the things God whispered in my spirit this morning was to tell his people to stop comparing yourself with somebody else. Because 2 things gonna come out of there. If you think you better than that person, it's gonna be pride gonna come out.
Oh yeah.
If you think they better than you, it's gonna be jealousy. So stop comparing yourself with the next person, and thank God that you are who you are. He made you who you are.
And
I'm talking about skin color, everything. He made you. And so walk in your destiny and understand that everybody is not going to understand your purpose. They're not going to receive your purpose.
One of the things that I always used to tell my barbers, right, because I love barbers because of the fact that some of them have multiple talents. Not only be barbering, but they have other gifts and talents that they blessed with, And so I always say, I'll always reflect back to them and I'll tell them, hey, your gift will make room for you.
Yes.
And see, so many of them don't practice on their gift, and then when you're coming into a business atmosphere, I wrote a paper up when I first got into cosmetology, got into barbering, and it was called, it was either going to be a career or it was going to be, it was either going to be a career or it was going to be a hustle. Either you're going to be a barber that's going to be a career barber or you're going to be a hustle barber. Hustle barber is trying to get a little change to go to the mall, a little change to go get some drink, a little change to go buy some gear, a little change to maybe pay 1 or 2 bills. A career barber looking at it totally different. You treat it as a business.
That's good.
A career cosmetologist and barber, they at the shop early, they at the shop late. They care about their customer. There's nothing more important than my customer. Man, I was late to every family function I've ever had. My mom and them have a family function. They know to put my plate up because my customers is the number one priority. Because it's the way we make everything happen.
That's powerful.
This is the number one thing that this is your own business. But we sold so much on us that once we get our little bread, the people that's making us,
yes, sir,
we disrespect them.
Disrespect them. I'm
going to Atlanta. I got hey, you ain't told them, you ain't gave them a 2-week in advance, you ain't brought a stand in. You know how many times if I had to break down and go with my family somewhere, I call one of the other barbers and tell them, hey man, why don't you come over here and stand in for me today? Because I got it, my clientele want me. And then I can use a stand-in. It might not be the haircut that I give, but at least they got an option.
They got an option. You
didn't
leave them without no option. That's powerful.
I ain't leave you hanging, man.
And that's leadership.
I ain't leave you hanging.
That's leadership. Leadership is leaving options.
You got to leave people with an option.
For whoever you serving. Yeah. That's leadership. You gotta leave that's how simple it is. That's powerful, man. You know what I could preach a message on that.
You know what, man? I did
options.
Hey, man, I did a funeral, man, with a dude, man. These people, young folks came from far and near, man, from Chicago, man. Everybody at the funeral, man, was from Chicago for their loved one. It had to have been 130, 40 people there. And man, the man preached condemnation, hell and brimstone to these young folk from Chicago that's already staying in a hellified environment. He preached
no hope.
And no hope, gave them no options. And so luckily, the person I was doing the funeral with was the pastor of the church. You know, he said, "Oh, whoa, this is my church," and he jumped in. So now they did a duet on the sermon side.
What did the dude do? What did the dude?
He had to back down. He had to move around.
Yeah, he had to move around.
That pastor understood.
Yes, sir.
You got before they leave here. I'm gonna lead them with some hope.
They experiences. Their pores are open, man.
And I had to come.
Death looking them right in the face.
I tried to follow up all behind all of them and come in and reinforce the hope. And I had to tell them. I said, you know what? I said, you guys spoke volumes because you paused your day. For the loved one that's stressed across here. You pause your day for your family that you're going to spend some time with. And you're going to love on each other and y'all going to start healing. Man, I can almost cry about that. Because you're going to start healing together. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm telling you, I can go on with a story, but I'll tell you one more story. I'll tell y'all one more story if I get up off here. I did a funeral for a guy one day. He had a wife from back about 30 years ago, but he had some girlfriends around town. But he had one, you know, he was wet, and she got all the stuff. And so a bunch of stuff was going on during the services, and I'm trying to break it all the way down and trying to, you know, cater here, cater there, you know, bedside manner everywhere, trying to keep it all together, bring everybody together. And I'm going to tell you how God worked. Because we as a staff was kind of stressed out because we're trying to get everything together. And so I'm going to tell you how the service played out. Service played out. where the lady came through, and she said, the wife, went to the casket, and she looked at him, and then she looked at the rest of them, and she said, come here over here, come on over here. And they got up, and they did a group hug. She said, give me a hug. She said, you know what? He gone now. It's no sense of us arguing now. All we can do now is love on each other and raise these babies.
Powerful.
Powerful service. I mean, we as a staff, we back there, pouring down, crying. Like a woman told me, I ain't never seen no funeral home people cry. You know,
it's ministry.
But I felt that anointing. I felt that healing at that moment within that church because of the fact that, you know, the deceased didn't already did what they did. Now's the time for these folks to grow. That's scripture. It's time for these folks to grow.
Yes.
When they walk up out this door, they better than when they came.
Yes.
And that's what's supposed to happen.
That's what's supposed to happen.
You got to be better. Man, if you're around people, man, and you in their presence and you leave worse than when you showed up, man, get away from them people. You around clowns, man. You're around clowns, man. Our daily prayer, me and my girl, is, you know, let our feet tread upon, be blessed where our feet tread upon, our hands touch, let it be blessed. And when somebody come in our presence, let them be better when they leave before they when they walked into us. You gotta be a blessing. You're a blessing to be a blessing. To help folks with a blessing.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. Psalms 1:1, that's my favorite scripture.
Come on, man.
Lord, keep me away from crazy folks.
Man, come on, man.
That don't want nothing out of life.
I don't want to be around no negativity. I don't want to be around nobody that don't like.
You can feel it when you in the spirit. You can feel when it's negative.
Man, I don't want to be around none of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be around. Now,
but sometimes He allows you to be around it for you to change it.
That's right.
Just don't let Him change you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, man, time go fast when you're having fun.
Yes, sir.
When you're having fun, you're in your purpose. You're doing what you do.
Yes,
doing
sir.
what God has called upon you to do. Ethan. Time go fast. I done had a blast here. I got to get back to work because I got some folks I got to serve, man. I got some business that I need to take care of. And I thank the Lord for all the listeners, all the viewers through our Facebook, through our viewing audience, UPTV Channel 6, man, all you guys that listen to us every Sunday night that come up to me and encourage me. Man, I watch you. I watch you in Brotherhood. Man, keep on doing what you do. I sure appreciate it, man. I mean, and I'm not just saying that to be saying that. I'm saying it because I mean it, man, from the heart, man. I appreciate you guys, man, because I only do this here because of the fact that I want us all to make it to the level, man. I want us all to be able to make it. And there ain't no color lines. We breaking all racial barriers and all that type of stuff, man. I want us all. Because if one person make it bad for Champaign, then we all look bad in Champaign-Urbana.
You know, real quick, do we got 1 or 2 minutes? What we got? Okay, so I've been on campus all weekend with the graduation of Uber.
Okay.
And oh man, and so it's an hour line on the corner of Wright and Green Street. Everybody want to take pictures with alma mater.
Okay.
Everybody. Okay. And the first thing, you know, I think like you, the first thing I thought about is all these kids that's north of university, all in Rantoul, that don't even know alma mater exists and they live minutes away.
My kids over in the banner, they backdrop is the satellite jail. It ain't a statue.
We gotta do better. So I'm gonna take in my mind. I said I'm gonna do a field trip because they need to know who. I mean, they coming from China, 24, 28-hour drives, 18-hour. Flight rides, and they all they lined up to take a picture with. And some of the kids can throw a rock and hit alma mater for their house and don't know.
Brother Hub, we gotta get off here.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank you guys. Thank you for another episode of Let the Truth Be Told. Peace.
Share.